I really miss the feeling of never being tired.
I think it comes to I think maybe we were tired. We just sleep in. Or did you never sleep in?
I don't know. I never
used to
really
sleep-
slept in
I
that
mean, I used to
much.
sleep in comparatively. I mean, you go to bed at like 2 in the morning and wake up at 10, and it's like, I don't know. It's just a lazier, a more mellow sort of life. I don't know. I was always, I don't know. I'd get tired, but you're different tired. You're right.
I'd get
Responsibility is what makes you tired, dude.
I think so. So I'd get physically tired in terms of
right. I did a lot of exercise.
if I did a lot of exercise and then I'd just be like smoked. I'm like,
So
dude, I'm
relaxed.
just gonna chill. But I was never tired to the point that it would stop me from doing something.
Yeah.
I wasn't old people tired.
You didn't
Now I
have to
feel
like
like I'm-
mentally process how to like solve problems like you used to. Like in the past, you was a problem you had to solve. Like, I have to make sure I have enough money to pay some rent, and I got to make sure when I'm hanging out with my buds or my lady, right? And then occasionally things would break, and that'd be like the most stressful thing. Oh, I got to get my car fixed.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's it.
you know, and none of that stuff takes like a shit ton of thought unless you have no money.
I have a journal from, it wasn't even when I was that young. I was probably in my early to mid 20s. It was sometime around, I don't know, maybe ritual time, something. Anyway, I had my my bank statements and my debts, like my credit card that I had to pay off, and I think I owed $500 or something. And that was that was heavy stress back then. Right. That was it. But I would never be so stressed to where I had to stop doing something.
Exactly.
It's like, we're gonna meet downtown, and I'm all the way across town, and I don't have a car, so I'm gonna skate across town. And I never was so tired that I thought, maybe I'll just stay home.
No,
because I'm tired. I'm like, no, I'm gonna fucking skate across town. It's gonna take me
Hang out
45
with
minutes of pushing on my skateboard, and that's fine. I'll walk. Yeah, it'll take me an hour. I don't care. Yeah. I'm not tired. It's just what you do. And now I'm just like, I don't know. I saw one drop of water outside. Maybe I'll stay inside. I was like, I'm kind of tired. Fucking bullshit, dude. So stupid. I hate it so much.
I'm a little cold.
I don't know. Maybe I just won't.
When it rains, my knee gets a little achy.
Yeah, I'll just stay inside. I don't know. Hot chocolate sounds good. I know.
Hot chocolate does sound good, though. It sounded good back in the day. Tell me it didn't.
Oh, I love hot chocolate.
Yeah, dude.
Hot chocolate was a treat.
Tell me they still make the Jared
my body
latte
just
at the Naked
processed
Lounge.
it back then. It was just like you said, just converted straight to energy.
Exactly.
And now it's converted.
ATP goes up every time.
Now it's just converted
matter what you
straight
do.
to anxiety and fucking.
It's fine, dude.
Just swelling.
Maybe we need
swelling of the face.
That's not getting swole, in case you're wondering. That's a different
sugar
thing.
swell.
Well, so that's how we're feeling right now. We want that endless energy.
I would love some endless energy. That's why I'm trying to dial in my diet and just really kind of focus on making the world smaller.
But like, what if that makes you more tired?
I don't know.
I don't know what the answer is.
I think it's gonna work. I think it's gonna work.
Good for you, man.
Right now,
I'm really happy
just
for you.
Compartmentalize some things.
I'm stoked for you, man. I'm out there too, just really journaling and getting it together. Just gonna learn about some stuff. Who knows? Really process some old emotions and just turn it into positive vibes. Yeah, dude, why not?
Yeah.
Somebody has to do it, and it's only us. Nobody else is.
No one else.
Just out here picking up the pieces.
Yeah. Has anybody else ever been a little bummed out about something?
Nope.
I don't think so.
Just us. It's really hard.
I think it's just me. I'm telling every young person I meet to move to New York City. I'm all, just
You
go to New York
have
City.
been, yeah.
Go to New York City. I told May
Charles
2 times.
says that too. He's like, gotta live there for a little bit.
Move to New York City. I was telling her to move to New York City because
May works with us.
May works in
They're
the
great.
cafe. Yeah.
Fun barista person.
And thinking about going to San Francisco, but it wasn't quite the vibe.
Fair enough. It never is.
I was like, fuck it, just move to New York. I don't know. I'm like, do it. There will never be an easier time. And then 2 days later, another guest was in the cafe having the same conversation, and he was like, you should just move to New York City. If I had to go back, I would just move to New York. I was like, yes.
He had so much fun there.
That's what I'm talking about. Doing it. Do it. Just go.
I'm using
Do whatever you want.
currently using this cool, very hard metal bottle opener as a scraper. It's really nice, just in case everybody's wondering what I'm doing while I'm listening and talking.
I'll let Lane and Warren
Oh,
know
it's
that
nice.
the next time they
Yeah,
pop
dude.
a bottle,
Oh,
there's going to
yeah,
be
dude.
some of your essence on
Yeah,
it.
dude, there's gonna be it's like scraping is just a great thing. I'm really helping the scar tissue.
Why is this beer
reabsorb
so
into my body.
good? It's got like a little,
it's got a little scent
Jared
of Jared.
skin flakes on it.
Oh no, I'm not going skin to skin on this. That'd be messed up. Maybe on the upper neck here.
Just
really.
little aromas.
Yeah, dude. What are we
a
doing out there?
Little aromas.
We talked about we're excited we're gonna start getting more organized in this podcast. We talked about that today, and I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
We finally gonna bring Charles to the
bring the
table and
Chuck in.
start talking about some pointed things.
I was
and
excited that he
experiences.
was open to it because I feel like in the past he's been a little reluctant.
Yeah, I think it helped that we could go straight from our current. Well,
The timing's right.
yeah, and we also used to have a 2-hour section that we've changed to 1 for our meeting anyway. So I
Yeah.
think in his mind he's all, well, I had 2 hours set for this anyway. So
Yeah, he's
you
got free
kinda
time.
Jedi mind tricked him into, you're like, hey, why don't we make this meeting an hour? And
How could you say no?
yeah, exactly. When could we get together and podcast? What about right after this meeting that's now an hour instead of 2? And he's like, you know what? That fits perfect.
Also, it's great for
yeah,
business.
and you give it like a 2-week break in between this first suggestion and the second. And he's like,
Yeah.
you know what? I don't know why. It feels just like, I don't know. That hour is just perfectly set up. I don't even.
He's gonna roll right into it, dude.
He is going to roll right into it and
It's-
drop
it's
some
gonna be
hot
good.
knowledge bombs for you all on the internet who really love to hear about it.
I think so, dude.
I know they do. I would look at the podcast episode views with him, and they're enjoyable. People like to talk about the coffee industry, and specifically a lot
Dude, coffee.
because we're in the coffee industry.
Are you going to Origin this year?
Hey, everybody wants me to. I should. I'm not even going to say should. There's offers on the table.
Yeah.
I like Origin. I feel very busy, and they seem to come. Those trips come sooner and sooner every year. But the other thing for me that I think a lot of people maybe might not realize is to take time off for vacation because of being single parent is already requires me to get sitting for my children.
Right.
So every time I do a work trip, it's either do I do a work trip or do I set aside some time where I could actually do a vacation, and it becomes more challenging.
Totally.
So I'm so theoretically could go to Origin 3 times this year. And I'm do I go at all? And that's just because they're always 3 to 5 day trips. And it's well, if I do 3 5-day trips, that's 15 days. And if I'm theoretically only going to get 2 to 3 weeks tops of vacation in a year spread out through the whole thing, that's over half of it.
Right.
And it's not even vacation anymore.
It's not vacation.
Yeah. And then I could technically take off work and go on vacation too with just the girls, but then it's anyway, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You get the
complicated.
concept. It's complicated. It's far more complicated for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
that makes sense.
yeah, I'm just trying to organize. Plus, I think with the new role I have, it on paper doesn't necessarily. It's not conducive to me really going as much as I used to.
Right.
Right? In theory, not even in theory, in structural understanding and what would totally make sense is I wouldn't go unless we were looking to work on some sort of project that I needed to have a really clear picture of to help with.
Yeah.
And we're not working on it. And I already created the Best Friends Club with Chuck and you and passed it on. So that works and is in process, and we have a structure for it. So, from there on, the green department can set that up and run that.
Yeah. Is it tricky for you or do you have any feelings about letting go of those things? Not just the
I mean, I do and I
involvement, but just even going on, going on trips.
My friends, the people in Honduras are really special to me. So that part I feel a little guilty about. And at the same time, if I'm the one reason that works, that also feels like a fail.
Totally.
Right?
Yep.
So there's an important consideration there. I want to see all those people. If we don't have the kind of company that has other human beings besides me that can inspire and connect and make people feel taken care of, what the fuck, So, that's, I trust in our ability. The only thing I think I feel funky about is that I don't want my friends there to think that I don't care because I didn't come for a year, even though I've been the one who's shown up every year, you know. And there's a little bit of a, we look forward to seeing each other for sure. I enjoy it a lot. And dot. I don't really have an answer for that, right? It's like, what can you do if you don't show up? Are they gonna take it super personally, or you know, or not? There's cultural stuff there. There's all the stuff. So I don't know. Thinking on it. Most likely will not go to the other places though this year. Yeah, potentially one, and if I do, it'll be Honduras because that's where I did it.
SCA?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the other thing. Like I will be going to SCA because I also know that I get energy from all those trips, but SCA is where I can connect with the most different people in a new city or a city that I don't visit often. And those experiences are huge.
I connected the dots. So Priscilla, who we've been working with at Canteen,
right
over at Meta, they go to, you know, Expo West and Fancy Food Show, and they're super into coffee because they go to all these coffee roasting companies. Cup Coffee really dialed in, and was talking to her and her team about SCA, and she's like, "Is it worth it?" I'm like, "Man, if you're looking for a cultural experience, yeah, it's totally worth it." And I mean, you know, you already have access to all the vendors,
right?
You know, everybody would love to be your,
of course,
coffee provider. But if you're looking at, you know, they're really keyed in with their equipment. It's super interesting. So because they have all their techs on hand, they do everything in house. And I was like, it'd be really cool to go and see, you know, what would be able to work best in this kitchen and all the new stuff coming out, grinders. And last time we were there, she saw, we got a ticket. We're going.
Oh, cool.
We're going to go.
We can hang out with them.
I was like, if you need anybody to go to dinner with, or just,
let's
you know,
do something.
We know everybody there. So hit us up.
When are we going? We should go to one of those cool restaurants that we could never go to again while we're there.
Yeah.
Actually, we have to.
We should.
But probably not El Linnea, but that's like the one that people trip out about.
I mean, there's probably
that
so
one?
many good. I've heard of it.
Yeah,
but
that's the psycho one where they're supposed to like mess with your mind and make all the stuff, whatever. It's like the
down
one
with
where he
somebody
makes the helium balloon out of sugar.
We should do it. We should just have that be my birthday dinner.
Oh, that's a good idea, actually. There you go. See, we built it in.
Right? Because if we're all going to be there,
right,
and then we're
that's actually,
we're going to spend bank.
Right.
We already have
and we've already been
money's already accounted for, basically.
For your birthday dinner anyway.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah.
See, we figure stuff out.
We're going to make that into a little list. Like, cool. Plan dinner in Chicago.
Yeah, now you got to go look and see which one you want to go to the most and then book it for us, Dano.
I need you to find me like 4 of them.
I'll help you. I'll help you look and see. I'll give you a top 5 suggestions, and then you can dive in. I'll give you the top 5. I can do that, bro. I can do that for you, man.
That's gonna happen. Okay. Food tourism.
Oh man,
with Jared,
so special.
Anybody want some food tourism?
I want some food. I want to try nice food. I feel like today I woke up and I was like, I feel good, but I also feel like kind of spaced out. Maybe how you were talking about. I just kind of feel like I'm in an observational mood, not necessarily in a sharing. Well, I think I'm also in like a write and plan sort of day a little bit.
I've been trying to get a good solid plan going for a couple weeks.
Is today the day? You're going to lock it in?
I've been avoiding it. So
okay.
I've set aside a couple different blocks of time, and for some reason I keep not pulling it together. I finally got that my eating plan.
I mean, that's a big one. If
together,
sticking to an eating plan's hard anyway, so that's pretty solid.
It really is
maybe
obnoxious.
Not for you, but
no, I mean, the problem with me, and this is where I'm most back to being tired. This is where I most notice my tired.
Okay,
is vintage Chris Baca would decide anything. I was like, I'm doing that. And there was literally no force of nature that could stop me from doing that thing. And I would make the decision and never think about it again.
Yeah.
I would just be like, cool, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to eat like this. Like when I started eating paleo when I was on that kick, I was like, I'm eating paleo. No big deal. I just fucking made the decision once and now I'm doing it.
Drink a gallon of milk a day?
If I'm going to drink yeah, exactly. Go mad, dude. If I'm going to do go mad, I'm going to do it. I'm going to drink a gallon of milk a day. I don't even have to think about it. Or if I'm going to work out like this or skate this many times or do this project or whatever, and I would just make the decision and go. And now I feel like it's like my resilience or my determinism is slipping in some weird way to where it's like, okay, cool. I'm going to make an eating plan. fuck. And it just, for some reason, it's a little bit harder to stick to it.
Yeah.
And I think I'm slowly discovering what that is. I think.
Okay.
So I think I'm not honoring the other things in my life that just need to be done. Because back in the day, I could make a plan, like you're saying.
Yeah, you just do everything.
You could do everything. You have a relatively low level of responsibility to where I'm responsible for myself.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have the business, a child,
babies.
A more serious relationship.
Yeah.
All of these things that stack up. And it's really just like being honest with myself about the time commitment that each of those takes.
Yeah.
And being able to plan around that. So where it's like, oh, I'm going to do this afternoon. And it's like, no, actually,
JK kidding.
Like from 4:30 to 7:30 is just strict family time, no matter what.
Right.
Like no matter what.
Right.
Because that's that period of time where everyone's home from work.
Yep.
Eleanor's going to start to prep and eat dinner. And then we go right from dinner to bath time. And then bath time to we're reading stories. And it's like, and like that's going to happen. And I think for the past, 6 months ish, because she's just starting to be, a
more
toddler
of a person.
Or whatever. Yeah. It's been kind of being like, yeah, maybe I'll be able to squeeze stuff in there.
Yeah.
Because the first, 4, 5, 6 months, she's just kind of sleeping a lot.
Yeah.
She's sitting there, and, you're playing with her, but she's not really doing anything. Yeah.
One spot.
And now it's like, okay, cool. So there's a period of time in the morning that's just gone. There's a period of time in the afternoon. And not gone in that it's not good, but just like embracing it for what it is. Like this is family time and I just need to be cool with that.
Yeah.
And have to be choosier about what I choose to take on because there's just less time. There's just less time.
Yeah. No, for real.
So that's like one aspect of it. And then the other thing that I'm trying to do is just really, and this is what I'm kind of in process of planning. What does work look like for me?
Yeah.
And where does it live? Because I find that it's really exhausting to do what I used to do, which was work during the day, take a break, work again, work a little bit at night, like kind of working all the time.
Yeah.
It never really used to bother me.
Yeah.
And it didn't really feel like it was impeding on any kind of
like
other life balance. But now with those things, I need to be a little more structured.
Yeah, the working hours. Totally.
And I think, yeah. So I don't know.
It's a challenge, dude. It's always a challenge. I mean, it's like adapting. Well, it's just consistent adaptation. And you had all those dynamics to the table, and that's what it is for sure. And that's with a kid, then you're right. Like every couple years, even year, that's like a dynamic, how they work changes a little bit.
I'm sure.
But you can, and I think you will, like dial in the majority of a schedule. There's always, you're clearly understanding too, like fuck, stuff's going to come up all the time. It's going to mess with that idealized schedule. Right. But that's just what you're talking about. So like,
and that's totally cool as long as, I mean, you had a week last week, but it's like, as long as you have some, or at least for me, as long as I have some sort of a base, I'll feel good. And then I've been finding the things that I really where I'm really kind of blowing it is like a big one is my transition time. So going from one task to another.
Yeah.
So like today, we had our meeting in the morning.
Straight into this.
So I was in the cafe doing like my admin-y kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then we have our ownership meeting, and now we have the podcast. And then I have some things to prep for tomorrow for the marketing team, and I'll do those at home.
Yeah.
Because it's just a more focused environment.
Yeah.
So transitioning from here, I know I want to get coffee afterwards.
Yeah, totally.
But sometimes it's so easy to lose like an hour and a half in transition of just kind of dawdling around.
Sure. Yeah, no, always. I think
like,
that's
cool.
So many people I know.
I'm at home and I'm just like doing this or I'm doing that or I'm doing this and my office is set up, but I'm going to just do a few things first. And
all of a sudden it's 3 PM instead of noon.
Right. And then I'm behind on working out, and I don't want
then you're under internal pressure you put on yourself to get it done.
And I don't want the day to be stressful, but I am making more of an effort to, we have a lot of flexibility in our work time certain days. So I want to treat work more like work, to where it's like, cool, I'll go get my coffee. I'll go home, I'll settle in within the next 10 minutes, and I'll do what I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then so sometimes I dawdle just because I dawdle. Then sometimes I find I dawdle leaving the roastery or leaving the cafe.
Well, people, it's fun. And
people, or just some sort of guilt, like,
oh, like I don't want to, like, I want to be around to make sure people see me around.
Kind of.
Yeah, I get that one.
Yeah, just sitting, like, okay, cool, make sure people know I'm doing the work, with the way our schedule's evolving, or our roles are evolving, we're working with a more specific set of people.
Yeah.
So there's less time where we're interacting with the bigger group, even though we do have our executive team meeting.
Yeah,
and
it's more connective, and there's
some times where I'm just like, cool, I don't know why. I wouldn't care if it was reversed, if it was my boss and he was just cool, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Whether he's going to do work at home or going to go lay on the beach, like, I wouldn't care. I'm not that kind of person, but for some reason I have it in my head that sometimes I need to just stick around. Yeah, and that's something that I'm trying to let go too.
I mean, yeah. I've also found that, I mean, everybody's different, so you're going to work differently than I do, but I definitely work on different styles of projects better at different cafes. Like for me, Swift is actually not really conducive to me doing any sort of work. The roastery either, neither of them actually, aside from meetings.
Aptos is really the only cafe where
I'm
feel
good at
like
Portola and Aptos, and then somewhat downtown at Abbott Square too. But even there, it's kind of the same thing where it almost feels like anybody. It just feels like anybody could be peeking over your shoulder, or like you don't feel like you've got your pocket. And so I can do some work at home too, but for me, it's like that's where it's helpful for me. And I use the transitions and being able to drive to another cafe, because then I get my thinking done in the car, and then I go straight into work, and then I think in the car or make a call in the car, and then go and do work. And then it's like it's deeper work, and I need the breakups and the way that my brain works to like bang it out. I work in like 1 to 2 hour chunks with little breaks in between. Some people don't. Sometimes I'll go deeper for sure, but yeah. And then I'll go home for a portion too, and like usually eat and like keep working for a smidge, and then settle into some sort of exercise, and then get back to it.
Yeah.
And that's been really helpful for me. But yeah, Swift is all connecting with team members and social for me. That I don't like. I try, but I just don't feel that is not the cafe to do work in for me. Some people can, and I'm stoked for you, but that cafe is all energy and all social.
I can do what I was doing this morning.
Yeah, you did
which was basically just, I mean, it wasn't
hard. You get
hard.
there early though, don't you?
I
think if you can get there like right at open, you might get that time.
Yeah, you can't do that and get there late, because I mean, everyone's there. Everyone's there. You've got twice the amount of team members.
Right.
Because you've got front of house and back of house, and you got the roastery,
and all of our other departments,
and the social scene is there, so everybody's there.
Yeah.
And it's
and
cool.
Your car people are there too.
Yeah.
So you're like all your commute, like
yeah,
a lot
Dante,
of your
I'm trying to get work done.
Yeah, dude, we're sitting in your office at your office talking about our office.
I treat Swift much like you do too. It's more social for me than anything. I don't have much of an expectation / barely any expectation to get work done at Swift.
No, and I even this morning I got up and I was like, I'm gonna go to Portola. Then I'm like, oh, but then I have to rush to Portola, so I'm gonna go try to do it there. And it was just completely different. I was like, there's no fucking way. I can't do it. I couldn't even do it if I put in. I've tried to do it with AirPods and everything. It's just like the environment. You'll just know if you're like as yourself, you'll know where the environments work for you and don't. And oftentimes it'll be exactly that. Like you'll be in the spot and you'll be like, I can't think about my work here. I like all I want to do is talk to people. And if that's you and you're trying to go somewhere to get work, just recognize that. Go somewhere else. Sometimes it literally has to be in your car listening to music. Sometimes I don't know. Like I feel you.
Car's pretty popular. I trip out on how many. Actually, I don't trip out on it, but
you're a car guy, dude.
How many people sit out on their car in Westcliff and just watch the ocean? I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I used to walk that.
Dude, I see people in their cars watching the ocean and on their computers and whatever, doing work, writing, like home office.
Yeah.
But it is, I mean, it makes sense, right? Like you got a nice view. You're able to like, I don't know, soak in some aesthetic. You're probably listening to some cool music or whatever you're listening to. And you don't feel like you're alone at home. I feel like that's something that I've been listening in a lot of podcasts. People don't want to go to the office, but happiness rates are like more down than ever because they're all isolated at home doing work. And it's like, that is an interesting juxtaposition. So people who are getting out and doing that are like, well, I'm around people, so I'm not alone. But I don't want to go to work, but I want to work. And
work from home is fucking weird, dude.
Working from home, yeah, I mean, if you love it, you love it. But I think that adds up real quick into just more isolation and negative mental health effects in the long haul.
Yeah, I definitely benefit from some sort of hybrid.
Yeah,
because there's some aspects of the flexibility that are nice.
absolutely.
It's really rough because our quote unquote office is just
Everybody's right there.
well, it's just not the best place to do work.
No.
I don't think for anybody,
Unless
not
you're-
just for me.
Yeah.
It's just
Chuck
and
seems to love it.
he loves it, dude.
I
What
know.
the fuck, dude?
I don't know.
I can't.
I don't know.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, maybe I'm tripping. So it's like him and Swenson don't seem to have any kind of problem with it, and obviously everybody else works there most of the time because it's the space that we have.
I think Mark does pretty good in there too.
It's
but
crazy. I'm just like, dude, it's so noisy. It's so. I mean, it's attached to our roastery, so there's like a pony wall.
yeah, we're
And-
also all staring around at each other at the table anyway, for the most part.
Yeah,
And if you can't chime out of conversations, you're hearing. If you,
I've never really loved communal table.
Yeah,
Just never have. And yeah, so the roaster is a drone, but ever since we got the pneumatics, so our bigger equipment, everything's got a vacuum attached to
Yeah.
it to suck the coffee up. It's so loud
yeah.
to the point to where everybody who's working in the roastery is wearing ear protection
Mm-hmm.
most of the day.
Yeah.
And we're taking phone calls next door. Or,
Right, and then
editing
they're
or
talking.
doing
People are talking
things
with
and-
each other in their little interdepartmental conversations.
yeah, I
and
can't do it.
I'm like, yeah. I mean, I was having a meeting with Mark, wholesale department stuff, and we were in it, but at the same time, I'm hearing finance talk about things in retail, which I'm also connected to, like, leading, and it's like so hard because I'm like, don't listen to them, and I'm hearing them like talking about concepts and this, that, and the other, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that whatever they're talking about right now, like, I'm going to hear whatever they come up with and then have to talk about it and or approve it and work on with my team. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to them.
I was in a meeting with Charles just real quick, and I said, hey, let's connect. I want to talk about merch margins and just look at the contribution to the entire business. Yeah. So we start going, and then immediately Weiser's in the corner, and he hears what
He's
we're talking
listening,
about,
yep.
which is the same thing. It's directly
Yep.
connected to him. Like, that's directly
Yep.
connected to you. And he just pokes up, and he's looking at us. He's
He's
not
like,
saying
"Stop
anything,
looking at us."
but
Yeah.
I can feel him looking
exactly.
at us.
Do not look at me anymore. That's the thing. And I didn't even look at him.
Yeah.
So I was like, dude, I can't look at them. I'm like, I don't have to listen, but every so often I hear like, and they need a minute, and then I think we should do this. And yeah, I agree, but, and I'm like, oh no.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, well, stay with Mark. Stay with Mark. Stay in the department. Yeah. So anyways,
What's the favorite, what's your favorite office you've ever worked in?
Portola. My favorite office.
Or like, have you ever
No, like if I think
worked
about
in a
the
office,
best work
office?
I've done, the best, it's always coffee shops.
Coffee shops.
Yeah, like I did a lot of great work at a bunch of different coffee shops, some a little bit at breweries. But what the formula for me is either like right at the beginning of the day, or if you do like some really like a run or some good exercise and then go straight from that into a shop and like sit down and get after it. Same thing. But those are my offices. And it works every time. Especially, well, if you know what you're trying to work on too, but like not any specific office. I mean, we had those Verve offices when we kind of like had it was open, but we also had like the blocks on the side.
Yeah.
So it was designed. So that's the thing. Like
That was pretty
you
nice,
hear cubicle
actually,
when I say
overall.
that, but like that was like pony wall cubicles, open floor plan, everything was pretty.
Yeah.
And that actually works pretty good. And they were big enough so that two people could get in there if you needed to have a meeting, small enough that it was just your spot. That to me is the jam.
Yeah. I like that. I thought
Yeah.
of doing the doll thing. I think I've told you about
Yeah.
it before. So people will bring in a doll or a toy, and when whatever their toy is, if their toy's out on the table, they're in deep work. Don't
Yeah.
come and talk to them.
Yeah.
But if the toy is put away, you can go and ask them a question or
Right.
whatever.
That's a nice little signal.
Nice little signal.
Put the
It's
light
like
on.
the bat signal. You're like,
Yep.
I am available
Get off me. Yeah.
for conversation.
Somebody's walking up to you like, oh, hey.
I am.
Click. Like put the doll out. Good to see you.
You know, Chuck's coming.
Exactly.
The doll
Good
out.
to see you.
Oh shit! Someone's gonna ask for something
Yeah,
crazy.
thanks for being here. I'm sorry, unavailable right now.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Do you ever watch that Jefferson Fisher guy on Instagram?
Mm-mm.
So
I mean, I can look him up. Jefferson Fisher. Maybe I should follow him for you.
I think follow him for me.
I'll follow him for Chris,
yourself,
dude.
too.
No, dude, I don't need to. I'll do it for you. Jefferson.
I think it's just Jefferson.
I see him. He's popping right up.
Fisher. He's a trial lawyer.
Yeah, I mean, there's just like one guy.
Let me see him.
He's the guy for sure.
That's the guy.
Yeah, you can
that's
tell.
the guy. So he is. That's a weird. Is that old?
I don't know.
Oh, that's a sticky one or something.
2022.
If you go to his reels,
You're working for the weekend.
you'll
doing
just
it
see
wrong.
like a scene of just a smattering. It's just him in his car.
3.9 mil. Oh yeah, he's in his car.
So he's
Always starts with a smile. That's something that I noticed with my pictures. I'm like,
This dude's
I do it in the car
awesome.
sometimes too. But
So he is a trial lawyer.
Mhm.
I think he's an injury defense attorney or something. Anyway, his reels are mostly tips on communication, whether it's, you know, arguing your point, setting a boundary.
Okay.
Anyway, they're really good. They're really cool short videos. He's super well spoken, super articulate, and he's got a formula which I really like.
Everybody loves a formula.
Like at the end of each video, he does this. He goes, "So try that and follow me." And he puts his like hand
It's
up
like
to
a
his mouth
secret, yeah.
for no reason. Yeah, and
It's
he's
like one
just
of those like sign up for my class.
he's just pretty charming. And he did a little Q&A, kind of ask me anything, and he posted a few of them. And one of them, someone asked, "Why are you always in your car?" And he's like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "A lot of people ask me why I'm always in my car." He's also, I have a law firm. I have my office, and that's where I let work be work. And I have a home, and that's where I let my family be family. And I do this in my car, and this is my time for this, and this is where it lives. It doesn't go anywhere else. And I like
Perfect.
that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was really cool.
Really divided
inspiring.
his spot.
Nothing I haven't thought about
Compartmentalized.
before, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Something about the way he
It's
said
working
it.
for him.
Yeah.
really well.
I think it's interesting too, because I think one of the things that I liked about it is, so he's got his law firm, and obviously I don't know anything about that because I've never worked with him, but he's a legit lawyer. He's got his practice.
Right.
And then he's taking his skill set and he's creating these videos, which I'm guessing take him probably 5 to 10 minutes to make in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes home and has his home life, but the videos are insanely successful. They're really good, even though it's basic production value. Really well received. Like all of those have millions of views on them, and I just think that's cool because it seems like a lot of things in our culture are about ratcheting it up. Like, I'm having success with this. Like, let's put it in the studio. Let's do it like this. Let's do it like that. And
Right.
he's just making it really simple. And he's like, this is what I want it to be for me. Like, I already have a job. This is, you know,
Right.
this is for sharing
I already
information.
do stuff.
Yeah. And I'm just, this is something I want to do, but I want to keep it in this box. And I just thought that was pretty cool.
So he's being authentic to himself and he's making a difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, that's what you got to do with your food plan.
Doing the things
Authentic
that
to
he's just
you.
like already really good at,
Right.
you know, which is cool.
Well, you're good at making food plans. You're gonna freaking. You definitely are good at that.
I don't know if I'm good at making food plans.
Yeah,
We'll
you
see.
are, dude. You've done so many. You're gonna stick to it.
I am going to stick to it.
Yeah, it's about to happen. Today's your day.
It's happening. I already started today. I did my.
Yeah, see,
cooked
I saw
my
you
eggs
eat some
last night,
eggs
dude.
and
I cooked my
salad.
eggs last night.
I know prepping is the hardest part. So
Prepping is hard.
Hey everyone, that's the podcast for the week. Thanks so much for listening. If you heard something that inspired you, let us know, or tell a friend. These are the types of connections that are the most important to us and that we seek to create every day. If there's something you heard and you want to know more about, send us an email to podcast@catandcloud.com or head to our website, catandcloud.com/podcast, and let us know. While you're on our site, check out everything we have to offer. Dive deep into one of our single origin coffees or pick up a little treat for yourself. We have something for everyone, so check it out. Also, find us in the usual places, YouTube, Instagram. We're always there sharing amazing things. All right, that's it. Thanks everyone for being awesome. We'll be back next week.